So moved. Mariko?
Thank you.
Second, Constantine.
It's moved and seconded. I don't see any hands raised for discussion. Auden?
All right, I will now call the roll. Fliger,
Yes.
Fliger, I, Jones,
Aye.
Jones, I, Abakoga,
Aye.
Abakoga, I, Sayak,
Yes.
Sayak, I, and Constantine.
Aye.
Constantine, I, with 5 ayes, the motion carries.
Great, thank you. So for the March meeting agendas or agenda, we have the consent items that are items 1 through 5. We got Joy's and actually consent items would be 1, 2, 1 and 2, sorry. And then the next item for discussion is item 3, board priority racial justice, the presentation on the report and recommendations on the hate prevention and inclusion task force. And Supervisor Chavez will be making that presentation. The next item, item 4, is the another board priority, local control, discussion of vaccines, testing, and mask mandates. For that item, we have a speaker lined up from the state. And we were also attempting to arrange for Sarah Cody to come and also present. And she is able to present, but not till April. So we have to make a decision to either move forward with having it in March and with someone from the state speaking on it, or April, where we can get both. So want to get board feedback on whether we want to move forward in March or move that out to April. And Gary and Joanne, Gary, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, when we're done with that, if we could just go back to 1 and 2, and I can fill in some blanks, but I don't want to interrupt this.
Okay. And Joanne?
Yes, President Jones, I was speaking with Rania today, and she suggested that if the board would like to have Sarah Cody in April, then we could have Supervisor Simidian come and speak on Life Moves, which was one of the holdovers from last year. And I have contacted Simidian's office, and he can present this Thursday.
Thank you. So can I hear Margaret?
Yeah, so I just had a question. Do you know what the content of the Life Moves presentation is going to be? We've actually been getting some public backlash on our Project Home Key project, and their targeted Life Moves. So I just wanted to bring that up and also just learn what he wants to talk about, because there's a little bit of controversy going on.
Actually, the background is, Margaret, is on our agenda packet. So you can see there's a grant that Supervisor Lee and Supervisor Simidian went after. And so I think that's more what he wants to talk about. But you can see, as much as I know, which is on the in our agenda packet.
Okay, I'll take a look. Is it more Project Home Key projects? Just, do you know off the top of your head?
I don't know.
All right. Okay, thanks.
Mariko?
Thank you. So when this was proposed last year, it was right when Life Moves got the $25 million grant. And our initial discussions with Life Moves staff, I think it was with Aubrey, was and I don't know the details of the grant, but I believe the 25 million required matching from municipalities. And so the initial idea was to have Life Moves come to the council, to Cities Association, to talk about this and to see if there were any cities interested in doing a potential project with them. So that was how the initial conversations began, but due to our agenda, we never got to it. And that's why it's been a leftover since last year.
Okay. Nisa?
Thank you, Chappie. First, I think someone from Supervisors Committee and staff is on the attendee side. So maybe she can weigh in if she chooses to during the public comment. So I think there are a couple questions and I want to make sure I'm addressing them. So one, with regards to the local control item, Chappie, if you're asking, should we separate the state presentation from Sarah Cody's since Sarah can't come until April? If they're one of the same broader topic, for me, it makes sense to have them at the same time. If there's a real divide between what, Dr. Cody will talk about and the state representative, then I'm indifferent if you do the state next week and then have Dr. Cody in April. But if they're really connected, then I would prefer to wait until April to have them together to make it a more comprehensive and rich discussion. So that's my preference on the Life Moves. I support having it if we're going to move, if Dr. Cody won't be here until April and we have the time to fit it in. I support having it next week if Supervisor Simitian is available. And I think we can trust that Supervisor Simitian will know how to manage that topic for the audience.
Yeah, and thank you for that clarification, Nisa. I didn't articulate it well. In my mind, if we have someone from the state, presented in March, then I don't even know if it makes sense to have an April, meeting with the same topic, even though I'd love to have Sarah Cody present. It just wouldn't make sense to have the same topic, consecutive months. And so my preference would be just to move it out to April, because I really would like to have Sarah come in and talk to us. But thank you for that clarification. I don't see any other hands raised. So Margaret, did you get all of your questions answered as far as Life Moves, or if there's someone from Supervisor Simitian's office that can address your questions? Are you good?
Yeah, I guess it's just a heads up then more. We have the Home Key project and there's some issues, I think, with people's expectations of what the program is versus what it really is. And we just had some and some notable activists, I guess, are kind of coming and making so. I think they just had some. I want to just say, I want to believe that they had misunderstandings of what the program is, but there's probably more to it. I just think it's not, and it's that, right? We're trying to do a good thing, but it's not necessarily being perceived that way by everybody. So I just wanted folks to be aware of that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate
No
it.
good deed goes unpunished.
Okay, so we'll defer the local control item, and we will add the Life Moves discussion with Joe Simitian presenting. And of course, we'll have joys and challenges. And Nisa, I know that you have the time constraint, so let's go to 2B, the Legislative Action Committee agenda.
And thanks, President Jones. I'm actually available until 4:30, not 4. So I have some time.
Okay. Sorry for rushing you. Well, we're there now anyway, so go ahead.
So we have 3 items proposed for a LAC meeting next Thursday. The first is an item that we continued from the last meeting where we will have the SVCE, Silicon Valley Clean Energy CEO and Legislative Director present on decarbonization and other energy legislation that they anticipate this year. So it's an overview. Followed by Assembly Member Alex Lee will be presenting his AB 1944 Brown Act modernization bill. And that would be an action item where he would like support from the Cities Association as it continues to make its way through the legislative process. And then the third item, we have someone from Cal Cities who will be presenting on California legislature, what to expect for 22. Again, just giving us an overview of the different bills that have been proposed so far. And I was very specific, things that matter to Santa Clara County. So not a laundry list, but really, what should we expect this coming year? So those are the 3 items for the LAC meeting.
Awesome. Any questions on that? All right. Gary?
Yeah, if we could just go back to items 1 and 2 under 2A, the Baird and Driscoll. And I
Yeah,
can
the
just
consent
fill
item. Yes.
that in real, it
Want to
will only
speak
take a
to that?
moment.
Yes.
I spoke with Paul Penninger today and we worked out kind of a roadmap on how to address. We need to do an amendment to the original contract because there's a couple issues with it. And then we need to do a new contract to cover the REAP grant because that was not anticipated. But since I have to write them, I don't know that it's realistic that we're going to get it for this meeting on the 10th. So we'll probably do it in April. But they've asked if you could issue a notice to proceed subject to approval of the REAP contract, subject to approval of the second Baird and Driscoll. So if I think that would be acceptable, as long as that's acceptable to you, I could write something up or they can write something up for you to prepare if you're comfortable with that, President Jones.
I will defer to your recommendation, Gary, whatever's the most efficient path is.
Yeah, what we're trying to do is
I wanna
get the first 100,000 through this fiscal year covered. So that's what we're trying to address, and they just need some degree of paperwork, and then I will prepare the appropriate paperwork, but probably not until our April meeting.
Great, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, and Lisa, actually, it just occurred to me, I was the one that came up with your 4 o'clock deadline.
Thought you were just using it to move us along.
No, it just occurred to me, it's like, that was my number for your deadline. Anyway, all right, so we're on to item 2C, and we talked about Life Moves, and there's another proposal for secure storage of guns. And my preference is to limit our meetings to 2 items, unless there's some special circumstances, but particularly if the items are not under our priorities. So that's my preference. So unless this committee feels differently, I think we should hold off on making a decision about secure storage of guns. And I don't see any hands raised. So now discussion.
We have
Correct, I didn't get a chance to get to my virtual hand.
Oh,
I just want to say that Morgan Hill, we initiated that to have in our ordinance to have guns stored if they're not being used or they're not in the site of the owner, that they have to be locked away. And that's been part of our ordinance. So just putting that out there.
no, I appreciate it. So are there any members of the public that would like to comment on any of the items under the 2s? Yeah, I don't see any hands raised. Item 3, discussion of potential topics for the general membership meeting on May 12th. Anyone have anything burning or exciting that they want to have as a topic? And the only, I guess, framework that I'd like to see is something happy and positive and joyous. Those are requirements that I have. But anyway, go ahead, Lisa.
And to add to that, I assume it will be in person, President Jones?
That is our desire.
Okay.
Because, you know, we're through with COVID, but COVID's not through with us. So we'll have to see how. But yes, that's the plan. So any suggestions? If not, at least,
Chappie,
yeah, go ahead. Oh,
so
sorry.
normally it's a venue in your district. Is there anything that you want to highlight that's innovative that perhaps we can tie a subject to?
That's a good one. Yeah, innovative or historical
Or historical or fun?
or fun, like the Winchester Mystery House.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, right? Like we
Yeah.
can come up, if you want to choose something, we can find something that is appropriate. Just choose a fun place.
Okay, yeah, no, I accept the challenge.
Okay,
All right,
Hawaii's fun.
that is
it's
true.
his district.
That's coming from our
Oh, got it.
treasurer.
All right, so are there any members of the public who would like to comment on that topic? And not seeing any hands. On to item 4. Santa Clara County Managers Association update. Sarah?
Hi, good
Welcome.
afternoon, everyone. A couple things to report from the last Santa Clara County City Managers Association meeting, which was held on February 9th. So a few different topics. First, they discussed under the COVID-19 updates, remote working for staff and the possibility of sharing between the different city managers' hybrid work policies. They also had a general discussion of topics of interest for 2022, and those included new council orientation best practices, city council and city manager relationships and how to work on those, as well as referral systems. They discussed post-pandemic talent recruiting challenges, which apparently are being felt by all of the city managers and administrations. They discussed housing element state rules, voter trends, and labor negotiations. They also talked about having a state budget and legislative impacts discussion. And then lastly, the City of San Jose's city manager offered a walkthrough of the City of San Jose's city roadmap. So as an option for their April meeting. So city staff will be providing a presentation of the city's roadmap to the group in April. And the city roadmap provides the City of San Jose's top priority projects and policies. And then lastly, they're going to be meeting in person in April. And that's the end of the report.
Thank you, Sarah. All right, on to the executive director update. Joanne?
Not much to report for Mayor Constantine. I will have the financial reports. I asked the auditor, or the bookkeeper rather, and she will have them on Monday. So I'll send them to you for review along with President Jones, and then we'll put that on the agenda. They will be on the agenda for next Thursday. And just to be clear, question for Gary, do you, Chappie is going to go ahead and do the notice to proceed. So do we need to put the agreements on the agenda for the board next week?
I don't think we can get them done, and get them out so the
No, you
public
can't.
could
No,
review them.
So you don't even want
No,
to put.
so yeah, let's take them off.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. that I
I'll work with Paul Penninger on what he wants in the notice to proceed and make sure President Jones is comfortable with it.
Okay. And that's about it.
Okay. And in my haste to get us done before 4, I think I realized, shouldn't we have voted on item 2? With the changes to the agenda?
I believe we traditionally do. Is that correct, Joanne?
Yes.
All right.
Thanks,
Well,
Auden and Joanne.
So let's knock this out in a minute. Can I get a motion to accept item 2?
So
So
moved.
As amended.
Yes.
So moved.
second Flagger.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Auden, you have 45 seconds to.
Oh, no. Okay, let's do this. Sayok?
Yes.
Sayok, aye. Avagoga?
Yes.
Avagoga, aye. Jones?
Aye.
Jones, aye. Constantine?
Aye.
Constantine, aye. And Flagger?
Yes.
Flagger, aye. With 5 ayes, the motion carries.
Fantastic. Hey, everyone. Meeting is adjourned. Have a fantastic. Oh,
Wait, Chappie, just a quick question. I don't know if, I thought we discussed potential future agenda items. A council member reached out to me and asked to have the housing element update as a LAC agenda item. And I told her that I actually thought it would be better suited for a full board
mhm.
discussion. And so I wanted to pass that to you. And I don't know if there's something we would discuss, but I'm just putting that as a potential future agenda item based on a request that I received for the LAC meeting, but I thought it was better suited for the full cities board if you think it's appropriate. She thought it'd be good since everybody's going through it to have that topic in some form.
I appreciate that, Joanne. Hope add that to the list of potential topics for
Okay, great, thank you.
future meeting. All right. If there's no other comments, everyone have an amazing and fantastic weekend.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Good one.
Hi, Joanne. Can you, oh, wait, let me stop the recording.